Welcome to the Know Before You Go Travel Show, where we share all the latest travel tips, tricks, and insights to make your next vacation the best one yet. So sit back, relax, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show with Penyak Travel's George Penyak and our senior travel consultant, Janet Penyak.
What is up, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to another edition of the Know Before You Go Travel Show, and we've got a show for you today.
Yes, we do.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yes. Still in COVID here, but things are starting to open back up. For example, Antigua in the Caribbean, they opened their borders last week on June 4th, and travelers have arrived there, and I'm following the tags on Instagram, and I'm so jealous.
That's so nice, yeah.
Also, a lot of places in Mexico or in the Cancun area are now open. They opened their doors on Monday, June 8th, yesterday.
Which we're going next week.
Which we are going in 5 days.
So you will catch us in Cancun.
Yes, we are going to Mexico.
I think we need a little break from all the COVID and craziness. And I have this like chip stuck in my throat. I got to sip my seltzer water. We're drinking some seltzer water. Happy hour to us.
Yes, there we go.
I have the non-alcoholic kind. You're drinking a Truly. It's truly amazing.
Yes, it is.
So anyways, we're glad to have you guys with us. Thank you guys for tuning in. By the way, thank you to all the people that have been reaching out to us for vacations. We're starting to see the interest come back. I mean, obviously, we're in the lull there of COVID, but you've had a lot of people hit you up for trips, a lot of which are from the podcast. So thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
You guys are incredible.
Yes.
I swear we got the best fans out there.
And it does seem, it's definitely encouraging because I think people are ready to get out and, go and travel. And there's definitely some great deals right now, especially if you are looking for a beach all-inclusive getaway. Look no further.
What did you find?
I was going to say, look no further than Mexico. I mean, the deals I am seeing are crazy. Like a family of 4 with airfare for 5 nights in July at the Hard Rock Riviera Maya was $2,500 for the lead-in room category. And that is all-inclusive, including your transportation, everything. Like, that's unheard of.
You can't beat that.
No, you can't beat that at all.
For that value of a property, too.
Oh, right. And then, same thing with if you're looking for adults only, which is where we're going this coming up weekend, Unico 2087. And they've got some great rates, too. I just booked someone there for 10 nights for like $4,200 with airfare.
Good Lord. What?
And that's all inclusive. 10 nights. Yeah.
Call us up, guys. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can just go to our website, penyaktravel.com, request a quote.
Yes.
Let us know you found us on the podcast and you want know a little bit more information about whatever we're talking about.
Yes. And both of those clients, I added on the cancel for any reason travel insurance, so their mind is at ease. They can cancel and get all their money back, and all they will be out is $45 if they need to do so.
Yeah.
Per person, $45 per person.
So shout out to all the people that have been hitting us up. Shout out for all the people hitting us up for trips. So we had Larry from Chicago. We've had Marie from not Minnesota.
Indianapolis,
that's right. Yeah. I mean, shout out to you guys. We don't want to give the last names out, but thank you guys so much for hitting us up. And then, who just booked the 10-nighter?
Oh,
Karen.
Yes, Karen.
Love you, Karen. Shout out.
Yes, thank you.
All right, anyways, we're going to jump into the episode. So we've got, and we talked about this on our last podcast. So obviously, a lot of people's travel has changed. A lot of weddings have been pushed, and things have just changed due to COVID.
Yes.
So let's just say you were planning on going to Europe this year. Well, that probably, I know a lot of our clients have had to change their plans.
Right.
Or miss it completely.
Or, they don't feel comfortable with, traveling that far away this
10
year.
or 11-hour flight. Yeah.
Right, which I can definitely understand. There are some countries over there that are going to be opening their borders to travelers in the coming months. But, definitely, I think if you want to get, if you're missing out on your European vacation, but you still want to feel like you're visiting somewhere in Europe, there's some great places that you can visit right here in America.
Yeah, in the United States, there's European cities here that just had a lot of settlers come, and they really shaped the city. And these areas of the country you're about to list, I think they're perfect for a long weekend.
Right.
Way cheaper than going to Europe, so you're going to save a lot of money. You're still going to get that somewhat European feel through the architecture and the people there and the food.
Right.
And so we kind of put together these little cities that we felt we didn't rank them. We're going to talk about them, but we didn't rank them in the order from like most European to least. It's just like cities with heavy European influence that would shock you on how much it's going to feel like you're in Europe.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
At a fraction of a cost.
That's right.
And not a long flight.
Yeah.
Which Papa Bear likes.
Well, everybody knows that.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, so moving on. The first city is Solvang, California.
Beautiful city.
And if you're like me and I'm kind of a reality TV junkie and I'm a sucker for Bravo shows, but Vanderpump Rules on, I believe it was this season, or it might have been last, but the girls all went to this city and like they toured some wineries and everything, but it is a city with Danish roots. It's about 40 minutes outside of Santa Barbara. So
it looks like a Danish city in the heart of. I mean, this just looks like when you look at it's beautiful.
Yes,
like you're gonna. It's got the cobblestone streets. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So it's full of Danish architecture, restaurants, bakeries, shops. They even have a little mermaid statue that apparently is the same thing that they have in Copenhagen. And there's lots of wineries and breweries in the area, so you can visit those. A few other things that you could do: bicycles, horseback riding, ATV. There's also golfing in the area. And if you want to stay right in the heart of everything, then I would recommend staying at the King Frederick Inn. And I priced this out just for August, and it was coming in about $170 a night, which is not bad at all.
No, that's not bad at all. Where would you fly into? Santa Barbara?
Well, Santa Barbara's 40 minutes away, or LAX is a little over 2 hours. So it would be something cool, if you wanted to visit, say, LA and take in all those sites for a few days and then go here for a long weekend. That would be a great thing to do as well.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect little getaway. Architecture is going to feel very European.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're going to get that European experience and feel. Very popular place, too. Yeah. It is popular, especially on the West Coast. Us East Coasters might not know much about it, but if you're skipping your European trip or you want to go have that experience but not the cost, that is a great place. Again, we're not ranking them, but it would rank near the top if we were.
Yeah, and I had actually never even heard of this place until I saw the Vanderpump Rules episode on it. So,
absolutely beautiful architecture. That's going to give you, I think it's going to have the greatest, from an architectural standpoint, feel of them all, possibly. If you really want that kind of surround yourself feeling. There's actually a couple of them that are really...
there's some really good ones here.
Okay, I take that back.
He hasn't looked at my full list. So.
I take that back.
Yes.
I know what it is, but...
Yeah. So, moving on. So, the next place, if you're looking, again, for that European influence, would be Leavenworth, Washington.
Now, this one's more of a hidden gem.
Yes.
This is more of a hidden gem that not many people know of.
Right.
And I think this is going to be one that if you want to go almost get away for a little bit, you're going to get that experience too. And I would not go in the wintertime.
Yeah, so it's about 2 hours from Seattle. It's set in the Cascade Mountains, and it's got a Bavarian-style village, and they say that tourists flock there for their Oktoberfest. They have a great Oktoberfest. It's going to be the first 3 weekends in October of this year, and they also have the Christmas market feel and everything like that during December. I did price out another package there. I actually called them. And so if you go the first weekend in October and stay at the Bavarian Lodge, which is right in the heart of everything, the average pricing, I did a Thursday. It is October 1st to October the 4th, and that's coming in at $350 per night. So if you had plans to maybe go to Germany and, explore the Oktoberfest and enjoy that, then you can do it right there in Washington.
Yeah, if that got canceled. And these are like places I could see like you could surprise if your husband's a big beer drinker, surprise him with like a weekend getaway like this.
Oh yeah,
because you could go for the weekend just about anywhere. Maybe not if you live in Florida, the East Coast, but just about anywhere else. You could probably fly up there and have like a Thursday to Sunday type experience.
Oh, yeah. And I've got some other great options as well for kind of that are all over the country that you could do this. But, I think it's kind of a different trip that you wouldn't really think about, doing something like that here. But there's some great options for that.
Leavenworth, Washington.
Yes. So.
And what's the heritage there? What's the roots of it?
Bavarian Oktoberfest. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah, I know what that is. I know Oktoberfest.
Well, I said Oktoberfest in Bavaria, and that's why I was wondering why you said, "Oh, what's the heritage?"
I had a brain fart.
Yeah.
Brain fart. Moving on.
Maybe you need a real Truly and not just a seltzer. Okay.
Yeah, I'm drinking my Polar seltzer water here.
Yes.
100% natural seltzer, calorie free, raspberry lime, refreshingly natural according to the top of the can here. Okay. They are not a sponsor.
Yes. So next up, moving to the East Coast in St. Augustine, Florida, which I know we have brought up a lot in recent podcasts.
We have, yep.
So we won't say too terribly much about it, but it is definitely a great city if you're looking for some Spanish influence. It's got that. It was founded by Spanish settlers in 1565.
It's the oldest city in the country.
Yeah, it's the oldest city in the country, and I would recommend staying in the downtown area because then you can easily just drive over to the beach, and it's not far at all.
And it does have a surprisingly beautiful beach. Like, you get clear water. It's not quite like the Caribbean, but it's clearer, beautiful big white sandy beaches.
Yes.
Kind of one of the best kept secrets, I think, on the East Coast as far as beaches go. And the history in the city is incredible.
Flagler, it's very neat.
Yeah, Flagler College there, Flagler University. It's Flagler something. I think it's the oldest college in the country, and it is their architecture on campus is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, they have a beautiful campus, beautiful downtown area in St. Augustine. They do ghost tours. There's a couple of museums there. There's the Ripley, Believe It or Not Museum. There's a lighthouse museum. You can also tour Castillo San Marco, and we've done that, and it's like this old fort right in downtown, but it's very neat. Definitely recommend this. And you're going to be about 30, 45 minutes south of Jacksonville. And some places I would recommend staying there, Hilton Bayfront or the Casa Monica Hotel. And in August, those are pricing, both of them, right about $280 per night.
That's not bad at all.
No.
Not bad at all. And I would also check out the A1A Brewery.
Yes. I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah, very neat restaurant there. But also that side of downtown, that I think it's called King Street. It's right on the bay. A bunch of good restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
There's a great Mexican spot. All of them you can kind of sit up and see the water.
Right.
And a lot of it's open air. It's so cool. A lot of history, though. Surprisingly, just like a little gem. Like, it's going to surprise you. And then they have like little quaint coffee shops that you can walk to, cobblestone streets. I mean,
yes.
It's a neat place.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's great. It's a beautiful city.
Florida getting on the map.
Yes, and there's going to be somewhere else in Florida too.
Oh, I know. I think I know which one. I think
we'll go ahead and do. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that one. So Tarpon Springs, Florida, which I had never even heard of this place.
Yeah, this one kind of popped up on our list, and we had to really do some research on it to check it out, fact check it, verify.
Yeah, so it has the largest percentage of Greek Americans out of any city in the U.S., which that's pretty cool. And who doesn't love Greek food? I love Greek food.
That's what you're going to get. You're going to get great Greek food here.
Yes.
Authentic Greek food.
Yeah, so they apparently have a ton of Greek restaurants, bakeries. You can also, there's lots of different shops that are inspired by the Greek heritage. And this is in Tarpon Springs, Florida, which is about 45 minutes north of St. Petersburg. So you could fly into Tampa. And I couldn't really find any places to stay like right on this street where all of this Greek influence is, but you could stay not too far out, and there's a Fairfield Inn and a Hampton Inn. And in August, both of those were pricing out only about $100 a night. So, this would be something good that you could combine with a beach vacation to like St. Petersburg or Clearwater Beach, and then, go here for a few days.
Yeah, a lot of the great Greek restaurants are on the water.
Yes.
It's right there near the water. So it is kind of a beachy getaway. The downtown area is very quaint, so if you want to experience a little bit of that architecture, you're going to get a little bit of that in the downtown area. But again, go if you're a foodie, I think this is a great destination for you, especially if you love Greek food and you're a foodie. You're going to get that authentic food experience there, probably more so than anywhere else in the country.
Yes.
And I don't want it not like restaurant for restaurant. I'm sure there's great Greek restaurants everywhere.
Oh, right.
But you're going to have a number of them down there.
Yeah, definitely. It's making me hungry.
I know. Shout out to our one of our favorite restaurants back in Columbia was Greek Boys.
Yeah, Greek Boys.
I hope they made it through COVID.
I hope so, but they had an amazing Greek salad.
Yeah, they were like lunch only. I think it was really good.
Yes.
So freaking good.
Very good. So, moving on.
Feta cheese.
I was going to say, yeah, who doesn't love feta cheese? So moving on
Maters.
to the next city. And I had heard of this city before, but I didn't really know much about it. So Holland, Michigan.
This was a new one on the list, so you kind of found this one without me.
Yeah, so they apparently have a very heavy Dutch influence there, and they do an annual tulip festival, which they do that over in Holland in, I think it's April, and which I think it was canceled this year, which was really sad.
Yeah, I did read about that.
Yeah, but the city, they still have windmills, lots of Dutch eateries, and like I said, the tulip festival, and they also do a holiday market on various days, November 21st through December the 12th. And I just checked out, what hotel would be during that time, and there's a Courtyard Marriott, and it's about $200 per night.
Love my courtyards. Where would you
Yes.
fly into there?
So you will fly into Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Holland, Michigan is about 35 minutes from there.
Little fact, too, about Michigan. A lot of good wineries.
Yeah, and I never knew that until we were in Michigan last summer. And
We were driving through, we saw the wineries, and we did some research on them. We never got to stop at them, unfortunately, but
Right.
really, really good wine there from what I've heard.
Right, I was just
think we've
surprised at
had
how
wine.
many.
I've drank wine from there. I just haven't been to a winery there.
yeah,
Really good wine, though. And I think you could, like, if you're a wine drinker, you could kind of piggyback off of a trip there to Holland and go see some of the wineries around. I know there's wineries in that area that's probably very drivable.
oh yeah, absolutely. I think that would definitely be right up our alley.
Why don't you take me?
We'll see.
You could plan something for hubby every now and again.
Aren't you going to Mexico next weekend?
Yeah, that is next week.
Yeah, okay.
Trump.
Moving on. So,
Got 'em.
sticking in Michigan, there's also a city called Frankenmuth, Michigan. And it is known as Little Bavaria, and it was founded by German settlers. And they have all of the traditional architecture, restaurants, shops, and they do Oktoberfest, which this year is running September 17th through September the 20th. Interesting thing about Oktoberfest here, they do a wiener dog race during it.
Oh, are you kidding me? That'd be so cool to
I
see.
was going to say, I think that would be hilarious. I think that would just be really a sight to see. But
The architecture here is unbelievable.
yeah.
It's
And
unbelievable.
they also have a World Expo of Beer. So if you can't go to the Oktoberfest on September 17th through the 20th, they also have a World Festival of Beer, and that is October 2nd and October 3rd.
Yeah, they also have a riverboat that you can take, a Bavarian BL riverboat, and you can shop at the world's largest Christmas store, too. So if you're a big Christmas fan, the largest Christmas store in the world. Now, I don't know. Don't fact check me on that. You might show up and be disappointed, but at least they're claiming it's the world. Everyone says like the world greatest everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like who hasn't said I have the world's greatest burger?
Right. Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
So this city is about an hour and a half from Detroit, and I would recommend staying at the Bavarian Inn. And if you were to stay during those Oktoberfest dates, it's pricing out about $220 per night.
And where would you fly into there?
Detroit. It's about an hour and a half from Detroit.
Yeah, that's going to be Detroit, yeah.
Yeah. So moving on, getting a little bit closer to home for us, and I've always seen pictures and heard a lot about this little town. It's a tiny mountain town in Georgia called Helen, Georgia.
Yeah.
And it is about an hour and a half from Atlanta in the mountains. And it was built to look like you were in Germany. And the pictures of it, I have not been, but I've seen a lot of Facebook friends and Instagram friends and people that have gone, and it looks beautiful. And if you're on the East Coast, especially we're in the Carolinas, then it's very easily drivable.
I think that's gonna be a very budget friendly place to go and hang out. Like you're gonna have it looks that way.
Yes.
I mean, Georgia, a lot of the smaller like little areas, gems in Georgia tend to be a little more affordable. Like Savannah's a very affordable city to go to.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Now, one thing though, they do have a big Oktoberfest here, and it's daily, October 1st through November 8th of this year.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's
That's
daily.
a lot of beer.
Oh, I know. And so there's a cool place I found. It's called the Hellendorf River Inn. Beautiful inn there. And if you go during Oktoberfest, it was pricing out about $310 per night. Now, Germany is also known for their Christmas markets and the Christmas decorations and everything. And they do a lighting of the town festival. So they light up the town with Christmas lights, which I think would be so cool to go see. And they're doing that on November 27th of this year.
Yeah, I think the Chattanooga River goes right through there, so you can do a lot of tubing. There are outdoor activities, zip lining. It's probably going to be one of your, because of the climate too, more active places. So if you if you like
hiking,
the adventure,
right.
and it's kind of not the biggest mountains up there, but you're going to get some activity outside of just sightseeing and enjoying drinking a lot of beer.
Yes, and you're only an hour and a half from Atlanta, so not far at all.
Very easy to fly to.
Yeah, Atlanta, it's the busiest airport in America.
Gosh, you can get a direct to Atlanta from almost anywhere.
Yeah, from pretty much anywhere. So very easily accessible. So I would definitely recommend that as well, especially if you are missing out on your Germany trip this year. There's a lot of German influence in America.
I've noticed that. I think it's because Americans love beer.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right.
Who doesn't love a cold beer on a summer day? I mean, so we're kind of like, getting some of the German, and German beer sells really well over here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Not like it does over there, but,
yeah, I don't know, maybe.
They're turning our nose up to us. They're like, these silly Americans don't drink beer like we do.
Yeah.
They don't Oktoberfest like we do. We try.
No, we try, but yeah. So the next place, just sticking with the German theme, it's our last place. New Ulm, Minnesota.
This is a gem.
Yeah, and I had never heard of this, and George found this a couple weeks ago, and we were looking at it.
And researching it.
Yeah, researching it. What a neat town that looks like.
Very cool. So, again, tons of architecture. One of the country's oldest breweries there.
Yes.
Founded by a German immigrant. It's not going to get much more German than that. And they have an awesome Oktoberfest. Smaller, though. So if you don't want the huge crowds, you're probably going to get every Oktoberfest that we mentioned on this, you're probably going to get big crowds. This is going to be probably 2,500 people or so.
I don't know, but it was voted in, I think, 2018 and 2017 as the best Oktoberfest in America.
Holy smokes. I'd take that back.
Yeah, so I'm not sure on the size of it, but yes, apparently they have a great Oktoberfest. And so
when you have one of the oldest German breweries in America, it's going to have an awesome Oktoberfest.
Right, which I have just some information on that because I thought that it was really cool. But the brewery was founded in the 1860s.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest ones in the country.
Right, yes. And it's very cool. So it says August Schell partnered with Jacob Bernhardt and to found a brewery to serve the growing German immigrant population in that area up there. And it says, while much of the city of New Ulm was damaged or burned during the Dakota War of 1865, the brewery escaped intact, and it is still family-owned to this day. That is awesome. It's a small town. There's about 13 to 14,000 people there, maybe 15,000. It's not a big town. So you could go and it's not going to feel very touristy. It's going to feel like a quaint little suburb of Minneapolis. Right. Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit further from Minneapolis. It's about an hour. I shouldn't call it a suburb, but right. Yeah, about an hour, 40 minutes from Minneapolis. And also at that brewery, they have an on-site museum as well. Yeah, and that's really cool. And there's some sightseeing to do in the city too. It's a smaller city, but they actually have what's called the German Bohemian Monument. It was erected in 1991 to honor the German immigrants that came to the area. And it's so there's more sightseeing to do there. I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of activities to do outside of the city, right? But there's a lot of sightseeing to do, and clearly a lot of beer to drink. Yes, absolutely. And they also have the oldest bar in Minnesota there. It's 160 years old. It's called Turner Hall. Holy smokes! So that's pretty cool. I bet they got some stories in there. Oh, I bet they do. I bet that's the place to end the night after Oktoberfest. Yeah. Now, a lot of German. It's a lot of German influence here. It's kind of interesting. Oh, yeah, I know. I wouldn't have thought that. Right. As far as places to stay there, so I kind of found the accommodations to be a little bit more on the rustic side of things, I'll say. So the best option, outside of maybe looking at a bed and breakfast or an Airbnb, would be the Best Western New Ulm. That's the best. I would go be bed and breakfast there. Yeah, bed and breakfast. That would be or an Airbnb. Check that out. That might be a better option there.
Shout out Airbnb.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that kind of wraps it up. But yeah, a lot of
heavy
German influence.
Yeah.
And an honorable mention, this is not Europe for obvious reasons, but Miami, if you want like kind of a Cuban influence.
Little Havana.
Yeah, Little Havana. Go to Miami. You can also combine that with a beach, vacation.
Great Cuban food.
Yeah, lots of great Cuban food. So,
and we've been to Cuba and we've been
Yes.
to Little Havana, and I can verify you actually get better Cuban food in Miami than you do in Cuba.
way better.
So if you really want good Cuban food, skip Cuba, just go to Miami.
Go to Miami.
They have so many great immigrants that started restaurants, and it's so good.
Oh yeah.
It's so
and
good.
then you of course have the beach, and then you could even drive on down to Key West. Key West is opening up very soon as well.
Yeah, and that's a cool place to see as well. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful drive. You're going right from island to island. There'll be parts of that highway that you'll look.
Miami's on an island?
No, as you go to Key West.
Okay.
As you go to Key West, you're going to see you're going to be on
right.
bridges.
You're going to pass. Yeah, the different keys.
Yeah, and you're going to be on bridges where you look around almost 360. You can't see land. You're that
Right.
far out. It's really cool, and it's beautiful water.
Yes.
Not a bad drive too. It's one of those places you want to rent a Jeep or something, or a convertible, put the top down and head down in Key West.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Let's pack it up and go.
Yeah, well, we're going next week.
Yes.
Not to Key West, to Mexico.
To Mexico, yes.
Which I'm excited. I'm really curious to see what the new norm is going to be for flying. We haven't flown since COVID happened, so we're going to give you an update on what we think the safety procedures are like, how we feel about them.
Yeah, just kind of so you know what to expect in travel, because obviously I hate this word right now, or this phrase, but the new normal. So just to kind of give you
it's just kind of, everyone's
idea,
using that like this
right.
is the new normal. I'm like, well, maybe for the short term, let's really hope not.
Yeah, so I think that this hopefully is just the new normal, like safer travel in the next year. But this way we can update you guys and let you know what it's like, what you can expect. I have seen some people and read some things of people that arrived in Antigua last week, and we actually have someone traveling there actually the same day we leave on Sunday.
Who's that?
And,
which client? First name.
First name Blair.
Shout out Blair.
Yes.
Is Blair a podcast listener?
I believe so.
Blair.
There you go.
Shout out Blair.
But what they are doing upon arrival, one of the first things they said was try to make sure that you are seated near the front of the plane, because whenever everyone arrived, and all the flights that are arriving into Antigua right now, they're arriving at close to midnight, 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait in line to meet with a doctor at the airport so they can do a health screening on you. And then they made one person of this couple that was traveling take a COVID test.
And this is just Antigua. This is not across
this is
the
just
board.
Antigua.
We don't not to confuse anybody. That's just Antigua's rules right now.
Yes,
the
right
rules
now.
are going to be different everywhere.
Right. And so, they did that, and then they went on their way. But, you can kind of expect, at least if you're traveling to Antigua, that there will be
Delays.
Yeah, delays, and it'll just be a little bit longer. But obviously, there's nothing you can do right now. So.
Yeah, and the benefit, the win, is when they got to the resort, it was like 10% capacity. So they got the whole resort to themselves. And
right.
so they're like, this is amazing. Like, we have so much great service because there's nobody here.
Yeah, and a lot of the resorts are doing different things, like obviously all the staff is wearing face mask, and you don't have buffets at the restaurants. All the breakfast buffet and the lunch buffet, all that has turned into a la carte. But we're looking forward to traveling and seeing what the new normal is, at least hopefully for the next. This is only like for the next 6 months or so, and we're looking forward to sharing that with you guys.
Beautiful.
Yes.
You ready for question of the day?
Yeah.
Question of the day.
What is it?
We have Mark from New Jersey. Shout out, Mark. Thank you for messaging us on Instagram. He DM'd us here. Kind of a random question. This has nothing to do with travel.
Oh.
And like I said, we'll answer anything as long as it's not, dirty.
Okay.
Other than that, we're an open book.
Yeah.
If you had to change your name to one, you can't. If you had to change your name, what would your name be?
This
is a random question.
If I had I
yeah,
had to change my name,
your first name,
what would I change my name to?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, I know. It's kind of like an interesting question. I was like, oh, okay, we'll
what
put
would you change yours to?
I don't know.
I would maybe do something kind of hip, because everybody thinks Janet is like old.
And George isn't. Like we're like the old couple.
We're the old couple. We have old people names.
Like when we're waiting for our table at restaurants, they're like George and Janet, and they're looking for like someone in a walker in a wheelchair or something. I'm like,
that's terrible.
Like I call and get reservations for George and Janet. They're like, oh, thank you, Mr. Penyak. Do you need handicap arrangements? Or I'm like, no, I'm fine. You know, I think they assume we're just very old.
Yeah,
because George and Janet sounds like an older. You just sound like it sounds like an older couple.
Yes, I think I
traditional
know the
names.
answer. I know the answer.
You do?
Yeah, I would rename myself to Kate. I've always liked that name. And
Kate's a pretty
like
name.
Kate Middleton, you know, like what a classy lady she is.
Yeah.
So, and then my grandmother's name was Kate.
Yeah, I could get down with
I
Kate.
feel like that's a timeless name, you know.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
There's my answer.
Kate. Interesting.
Interesting question.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What would I rename myself if I had to rename myself?
I don't know.
Pierre.
Pierre sounds very
French.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Français.
Sounds French.
I actually don't know. I have no idea what I would rename myself.
Oh, okay.
I like how you went kind of like hip. I could go for something because we're
timeless, hip.
We're named. You know, George is a very traditional name, so I probably would go to something like hip and cool.
Yeah.
Like but I like George. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I would change my name. I used to not like it because when I was a kid, I was called Georgie Porgy, George of the Jungle, King George. I was called every George in the book, and I couldn't stand it. I used to hate my name when I was a kid, but now I'm older. I like it. I like George. I look like a George. Can I pass to George?
You definitely look like a George.
And you look like a Janet.
Well, thank you.
And you look like a fabulous travel agent.
Thank you for submitting that question of the day.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. By the way, you got a comment on your picture today, your wedding photo that was hanging up in the dining room. The guy that fixed our oven.
Oh, why are you bringing that up?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I was saying, you look like a Janet.
My bridal
Janet.
portrait.
Yeah. He was like, who's that? And I was like, oh, that's my wife. I was like, oh, yeah, she's beautiful. I was like, yeah, I outkicked my coverage.
Yeah, well.
He got a little kick out of it.
I wish I could go back to being that skinny.
Oh, my gosh, man.
Yes. So, anyways, I think that's a show.
Yeah. We'll stop rambling. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want any more information about anything we talked about, you guys know where to find us. Slide into our DMs.
Yep.
Slide into our DMs. Or slide into our... I'm just kidding. You can also go to penyaktravel.com.
Penyaktravel.com, request a quote, or you can send me an email, janet@penyaktravel.com, or feel free to give me a shout, 1-800-674-3278.
I'm glad you know the number. I don't.
Yes. Just a memo, though. We will be out of the office June 14th through the 21st.
Viva la Mexico.
Yes.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.